So from the planning stage, like at our first meeting, we sort of went with my plans. I think just because they were like the most convenient to where we were, and everyone basically had sort of the same idea. And our basic idea was that we would just have a piece of wood and then have the two axles going through eye screws underneath, and then put rubber bands around the axles and have it so we could wind it up.
Yeah, so we just basically tied on rubber bands to the back axle and tied them to the front axle then. And so
not the front axle.
We tied them to the eye screws.
Oh yeah, to the eye screws. Sorry, so that they're like stationary in terms of the front axle.
Why?
When you pull it back, it just winds up the rubber bands, and I think it just wants to go.
Yeah, and we would cut the rubber bands and then just tie them and put tape over the tie, and then just tie it around the other end, and that we sort of thought that might not work, but it did.
It worked fine, and we honestly the whole time we used the same rubber bands too.
Well, no, we added two on though.
Yeah.
After the see what you can do day, we were like, well, we sort of want to go up the hill faster because then it was like, whoa, but
it's always also
ended up doing that in the end anyway.
Well, yeah, but we added more stuff on, so it was like.
Well, it's also important for us because it's a part of the strategy of scoring. Like when it goes up faster, it relies on hitting the lip of the PVC pipe. We had like a little thing down there. When it hits the lip of the PVC pipe, we have a platform at the top, and the racers will just fall in.
They just kind of spill out.
Because originally we were gonna go with like a cat food can with like cardboard under it, but that didn't work even a little bit, and cardboard's an illegal material, so. And
it was too low.
So when we tested it, it would just go like.
It would just smash.
It just was awful. So we were just like, all right, so we'll just do like a bench idea, so it just sort of sits there and then gets knocked in. And I'd already drilled in like dowels, so that we could have the cat food can, or we just like taped more dowels to those to make it taller. And then made a little platform out of just leftover pieces of plywood because we made our car really small, just so we wouldn't have to deal with like, it doesn't fit sometimes.
Yeah, because we didn't have like an arm or anything, so it was like actually very easy. We cut it with like 3 inches of tolerance, which is more than enough, but it actually worked out fine because we didn't need anything.
Yeah.
So we were just going for the erasers in the first place. So.
And then one problem we encountered was we were going with CD wheels. And the CD wheels, like originally, they just didn't really get any traction. So we tried putting rubber bands around them, but they just didn't stay. And then we were gonna glue sandpaper.
That was a fail.
So we taped sandpaper. That worked out perfectly fine, but it meant that the wheels, like when we would just like try it out on the ground, they would hit against each other and just like act as a brake.
So we had to shift the axles. Like one had to be they had to be misplaced, so they're not really symmetrical.
Offset.
Offset. But it was fine, and like maybe one of the if you call it problems even. When we were trying to get up the hill, you just have to make sure it's aimed right. Like if it's aimed straight at the thing, because if it's aimed even a little bit to the side, it might the racers would just explode on the PVC pipe thing. They might not all go in.
Yeah, so. But then we didn't. I was a little worried we'd have a problem with it going straight, but the wheels themselves were straight. They were just off to the side because we wound duct tape around the inside of the axle, so it was like just fat and couldn't get through the eye screws.
Yeah.
And then the paint job, that really helped it score those.
Not at all.
The dragon.
It was pretty sick though.
It made it fly.
Stop playing bass.
Boom, boom, boom. And then sort of from a physics standpoint, basically the rubber bands, when we wound it up, it would be elastic potential energy in the rubber bands as they got stretched, sort of like when you push a spring in, just the opposite. And then that would be held back by the starting string, and then when you let that go, it would be turned into kinetic, which would push the car forward and counteract the gravitational force on it.
Friction.
And
because it kind of used friction though, because the way that the wheels were.
Yeah.
We actually had sandpaper.
The kinetic
on it,
energy
grabbed,
it would spin the wheels, and then it would get converted to internal.
Yeah.
In the hill.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the friction of the wheels, we use it to our advantage because it's a wheel.
Which is why wheels are awesome.
And then the normal force of our little like plywood sandwich ledge, hit the bottom of it, hitting the PVC pipe cap thing. It would just sort of, the force of that would cause the car to like jolt backwards. And it would knock the erasers off because they didn't have enough friction.
Yeah, and the erasers would hit into the back of
the erasers had inertia, and that's what kind of kept them going into the cap when the car stopped. They had nothing impeding. There was not enough friction. There was no force, not a big enough force opposing their inertia, so they just kind of fell
would fall in.
Yeah.
But so, if we need anything else, that would not be Alex with us.
Yeah.
Alright, so we just got to do a quick summary of our meetings. Alright, so meeting 1, we cut the wood for the car, we made the wheels, and we drilled in the high screws, made the axles. That was all of us, that was me and Brandon and Alex. And we worked like 2 hours that night and then 2 hours the next morning.
Yep. Meeting 2 was just Colin. He put the sandpaper and the rubber bands on the wheels, and he attached the axles and wheels to the car. Did that maybe an hour?
Yeah, it took about an hour.
Alright, here we go.
Meeting 3, also just me, and I just drilled the holes for the dowels, like that we put the cat food can on, and then put those dowels in, taped the cat food can on, and then I drilled a hole for the starting string, put that in, and I made the axles fat, so they could be offset. That was like an hour and a half, probably.
Alright, meeting 4, which is all of us, me, Alex, and Colin. That was when we trashed the cat food can idea, and we made this scoring, like the ledge, this plywood sandwich ledge, and then we put that on. That took about 2 hours. Most of that was just brainstorming, though. Just figuring out what to do instead of the cat food can.
Meeting 5 was just Alex. He did this sick paint job. Took him like an hour and a half.
Meticulous working.
Yeah, he's a good painter. And then meeting 6, I guess, is us here making the journal, and it took us like a couple hours yesterday.
And it's probably gonna take us a few more hours.
So probably like
5.
Yeah, like 5 total. Like 3 yesterday, like 2 today. All right. Peace, yo.
There's my cat.